All right, in math, we are reaching the middle of our chapter. We talked about two different ways to compare objects. You can compare them by length, longer or shorter than. You can compare them by height, taller or shorter than. These few pages here have a lot of blank spaces because we get to choose our objects. We did cube towers, we did pencils, we've seen trees, but now we get to go around our home to compare objects that we would like to. The directions that you'll see on the paper will say, compare the lengths or heights of two classroom objects. Now, you boys and girls are very lucky. Your classroom is now your whole house. So go ahead and pick two house objects or two objects at home, and let's draw them and tell a friend or a family member how you are deciding to compare those objects. For example, I'm going to take my marker here and my dry erase marker. Two classroom objects, since that is where I am learning today. Let's see, do I want to compare the lengths? So I would put them side to side. That's comparing the lengths. Or do I want to compare the height? If I do height, then I'll have to use our bottom measuring line and see how tall they are. Now, whichever way you choose, make sure you can trace around them, or you can put them aside and try your best to draw what they look like. It's up to you how you would like to do that. Then use our comparison words. If I have them this way, am I going to say, oh, this eraser is longer than this marker? I cannot. If we are using this measuring line, I'm going up and down, I need to say taller than or shorter than or about the same height. And it looks like these two are about the same height. Let me go ahead and find another example. So those are two objects. When you turn the page over to this frame with the beautiful colors there, notice where your measuring line is. Is it at the bottom or at the side? It is at the side right here. So we will be comparing lengths. So we'll place one object and one end of an object here and another here. Let's go ahead and search in our classroom. I see I have a pencil and I have one of my doctor's tools. Okay, Mrs. Gorospe is back from wandering. Two classroom objects, my doctor's tweezers, and a pencil. Find two small objects. I'm going to start on one end here, making sure that I'm touching that line. Now I can trace around or draw them however I'd want to. And let's say the comparisons. This pencil is longer than these tweezers. These tweezers are shorter than the pencil. And so, as long as you draw them in, you have marked how you compared. Now our paint splatter frame. My measuring line is right here at the bottom, so we are comparing length or height. Height is correct, my dear friends. So let's wander the house, wander the classroom, and find two small objects to measure the heights. All right, Mrs. Gorospe, what is calling out to you? What about this little object here and this little object here? All right. Mrs. Gorospe had some steps around the classroom and she found her tape dispenser and one of our books from our tub. I have a small book and a tape dispenser. I'll draw or trace around the objects that I chose and use my describing words. Which one is taller? Which one is shorter than? The tape dispenser is taller than the book. The book is shorter than the tape dispenser, if we're measuring the height. Okay, thanks friends. 2 more objects I can set aside. When you flip this over, mid-chapter checkpoint, just to make sure our eyes are telling us and our words are used in the right way. We have a cube train or a cube tower. We have a cube train, so we will be looking at lengths. Please draw a cube train that is shorter than the blue one shown. We need to draw a cube train that is shorter than the blue train shown. Over here with our blue crayons, please circle the crayons that are about the same length. Which 2 crayons are about the same length? My red crayons here, we're not looking at length, we are looking at height. How can you tell? We are going up and down and comparing their heights. Circle the crayon that is shorter. Which red crayon is shorter? We have 4 sets of pencils here. Which set of pencils are about the same length? Which set of pencils are about the same length? Now you don't need a ruler to tell you. Your eyes are trying to see. You're trying to estimate which ones have the same length. So if I draw a line from the pencils, they should reach the same length on the line. Now that I've drawn some helping lines for us, which 2 pencils are about the same length? So that is what you are asked to do as a kindergarten student for your problem-solving comparison math pages. Thank you, my dear friends. Now let's go ahead, put that aside, and let's call over TK's work. TK, you have the same empty spaces for comparing objects. So go ahead and pick 2 objects. Here's your measuring line. Make sure that your objects can put one end on the line there. Which one is longer? Which one is shorter than? We have height next. Which object will be taller than? Or which object will be shorter than? Or are they around the same height? For TKs on the longer and shorter, please circle the object that is longer. Circle the object that is longer when you compare your 2 lengths. At the bottom here, we would like to circle the shorter. Which object is the shorter object? All right, length and height. When I turn it over, lots of review questions to sweep away cobwebs. We have some different lengths of pencils here, gray pencil and a white pencil. Which picture shows that the gray pencil is longer than the white pencil? That gray pencil is longer than the white pencil. So use your eyes to find that set. We have a shape here on number 2. How many vertices does this rectangle have? Oh, we haven't heard that word in a while. Vertices. How many vertices does this rectangle have? Then we have a math sentence with a drawing to give us as a strategy to help us write it out. If I see that we have an X, we have some cubes having an X, do you think we're putting together or taking apart? We are taking apart, that's right. And how many? How many are being taken away? 2. So how many are in this whole, and how many are left? Let's keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2 being taken away and 6 being left. How many are in this whole story. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Remember that subtraction sentences or takeaway, we have to start with how many are all here first, and that's 8. So let's see which of these two match the drawing. 8 minus 6 equals 2. That's like saying 8 take away 6 leaves 2 behind. Is that what's happening in this story? I only see X's on how many? 2. So I see here 8 minus 2 equals 6. 8 minus 2 equals how many left? 6. So the correct response would be our last one. So we would bubble that in. Thank you, TKs. Thank you, Kinder, for comparing objects and solving some problems today.